All right, welcome back to the series, guys. If you've just tuned in, this is the best of 3, and we're currently in game number 2. I'm Rifkin, casting today with Apollo. But yeah, leading the series 1-0 at the moment, spawning the bottom right corner of the map, playing for Fnatic. It's the red Zerg player, Miniraser.
And if my microphone didn't shoot crazy loud, which I don't think it did because you would have told me off by now, up here's the blue Terran. It's Thorzain, who's going to do a bit of a cheeky proxy Reaper build here.
Yeah, the 8 depot, of course, the big dead giveaway. Now, he's probably going to do it behind, I imagine, and try and abuse this cliff.
Yeah.
But, you know, as cool as this cliff is, it's actually kind of a huge detriment, because if this cliff fails, if Zerg players can get on top of holding this one location down pat, it takes so long to go all the way around. You know, there's other maps where you could just duck in from like 3 or 4 different angles, but on this map, if one angle doesn't work, it takes like 30 seconds to get to the other.
Yeah, I definitely, if he can get on top of it, that will be good for him. But it's going to be hard to do that because the Reaper's going to be so fast. He's going to go, well, I say go hatchery first, that's very much the normal, but he's decided to go to spawn and put on 14 supply. And this is actually one of the best things that he could have wished for.
Yeah. I mean, this could be him just playing blindly into it. It could be a lucky coincidence, but something that's kind of cool, actually. I learned this through Hendreless by accident. Did you know if you put the spawning pool in the northern part of the creep, you could actually see that whole cliff?
No, I did not. No.
He's like the only player I've ever seen do it. I thought it was like the coolest thing.
This is unbelievable for Miniraser. I mean, he's definitely, I would imagine, knowing how well he played and how well he won game number 1, just saying whatever. The actual disadvantage from going spawn and pull first over the hatchery first, it's not that bad. Especially if you don't need to make lings early. This is actually really good for Miniraser. And he's making 6 lings. This is actually like an aggressive build, but it's going to work out really well for him.
Yeah, I mean, for Thorzain too, an 888 Reaper, it starts off, I wouldn't say super all in, but it becomes all in very quickly if you don't cause a lot of damage. Loving the bunker coming down here as well. If this completes, this is a nice little place for the Reaper to hide in and heal up, a healing hut if you will, but chances of this completing are very low.
Oh man, Thorzain's heart, I mean, everything just sinks for Thorzain because he's like, you've got to be kidding me. When I decide to do this, you've opened up like this, and
yeah.
This is very, very bad news. The Reapers aren't going to do anything, unfortunately.
The other thing too is that, yeah, with the earlier spawning pool, not only do you get these lings out like crazy fast, you get the queen out really fast too, and that's going to drive the Reaper back so quickly. I mean, maybe killing the lings, but without those, he didn't even. Oh, the second Reaper's actually going home. This is a smart move. He doesn't know how many lings stuck by.
Yeah, he's got to go back to protect his SCV line for sure. But the problem is he's cut his SCV so short. He's got a barracks on the other side of the map. This is not an economic opening for him. And Miniraser, who does not need to build any more lings, can just drone. He's going to take a significant lead when it comes to the workers.
Well, you know, actually, I wouldn't say that this isn't the worst case scenario too, but because this SCV count is pretty decent. Miniraser having gone for the other lings, you know, that's that larva that could have been drones. He doesn't have a huge lead right now, but this will catch up very quickly due to the mechanics of larva. So Thorzain definitely going to feel pressure to still deal some damage, but I wouldn't say he's exactly out of the game just yet.
Yeah, he's not dead, but he's in a pretty sticky situation. Miniraser sees the factory coming in. He knows that all he needs to do right now is get circling speed to protect himself against Hellions and just build drones and queens,
man.
The
Reapers! These are units that snowball so quickly, you need to have them get that number. If you lose one early like this, it's so hard to deal with. I mean, I know you've played Terran, but for anyone out there, like if you've ever tried to use Reapers and you lose one early, you know how bad this is.
Yeah, this is not good. Definitely the Reapers could have got some value and try to help Thorzain get back into this, but losing, you know, a third of the firepower there sucks.
Well, I think the big thing too is like 2 Reapers kill queens in like what 3 trips, but 3 Reapers kill queens in 2 trips. So
yeah.
If he had been able to start picking off the queens, that's when the snowball effect really comes into play. He does have a 3rd Reaper coming out, but as I mentioned earlier, this position is so long to get around.
I mean, look at the worker count now. 28 to 19. The income's terrible. I mean, he's got mules that are helping out, but this is not good.
Yeah, mules are cool, but they're not that cool.
Yeah, they're gonna help him, but this is very, very bad. 3rd Reaper, another one does come, so he's back to 3 again. But Zergling's speed's not even that far away, so.
Speed aside, I think the only thing you really do with these two is pick up those creep tumors. The high ground vision going to give those queens such an edge. Oh, might get a drone though.
Finally.
Yo, check out this sick Overlord floating over top of Miniraser's base. Oh wait, no, that's a barracks.
Yeah, that's a barracks, man, and that kind of shows he's going to play mech most likely in this game. And he gets information that he's not getting all in. That's kind of something you can take away with his barracks. But yeah, I'm still wondering how Thorzain can get solidly back into this one and find himself at least equal in this game, and that's something which is going to be very hard to do.
Well, I like the choice to go for the third CC. Playing off a 2, not going to cut it. He knows his SCV counts behind, and this is one way to help make that up. But the problem is, that's 400 minerals. That could have been 2 more Hellions. That could have been, or 4 more Hellions rather. The defense is going to be a bit low. These Lings are actually a little bit more threatening than they otherwise normally would be.
Yeah, and the work account's just getting worse and worse and worse the more the time goes on too. So, Thorzain, it's really unfortunate to open up like an egg barracks like this. It's risky in itself to do so, but it's usually you don't really run into spawning pool first very often, so it is a little bit unlucky in that regard.
Yeah, definitely not. That's just I have no idea if that was just a flip of the coin luck type thing, or if Miniraser had this plan going into the map expecting Thorzain to do that. But this worked out fantastic. Losing an Overlord though, the Viking does start going to work. Yeah, 3 Reapers will be good against the Lings with the Hellion to back them up, but this is the Roaches are kind of going to seal the deal to this game. I think you can get a Banshee. And we've all talked about how Banshees can eventually clean up Roaches, but that's kind of the key word, eventually.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how high the Banshee count goes to. If the Banshee count rises to 3, or, 2, 3, then he does stand a chance if it was to be heavy Roaches. And he'd be throwing the Roaches into Banshees, which, they do clean them up, and if he's bunkered up on his natural, there's a chance here. So Miniraser doesn't want to try something too crazy here, but the problem is he doesn't know exactly the position he's in, maybe. I mean, he knows he's ahead, but not so far, or... knowing that is quite important, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the Overlord dying was that scouting information stripped away. He's seen the 3rd command center up, so he knows Thorzain is not screwed out of this game. Oh, actually transfuses the Overlord. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it keeps that alive. Every little helps.
He's really denying Thorzain on every aspect of this game. Can't even get the Overlord kill. The Reaper's getting a lot done. The Barracks comes back for another scout. He'll see the Roach Warren coming down, but, I mean, this is kind of to be expected.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the barracks floating up constantly. He kind of knows that this should be some kind of mech opening, whether it be Blue Flame, Hellbats, or something. Roaches are going to be ideal against that.
Well, I like the Marauders coming out of Thorzain. He's making the right moves. Everything here's just like, the timings are like, displaced from what they normally should be.
Yeah, you nailed it. He's making the right moves, but 30 seconds to a minute behind where he should be making these moves because of the openings. And that's a little bit unfortunate, but... he's getting himself back into this at 73-ish supply, so it's not terrible, but there's a lot of Roaches coming out now, and the upgrades, as you pointed out, are going to be good as well, and there's a clear opportunity here for Miniraser.
I think as well, I mean, this is the timing where as a champion player you want to be taking that 3rd. You want to be lifting off and moving over, and maybe putting your siege tanks in your army in the middle, but now he's got a bunker up here. The double bunkers I really like. This will help a little bit, but the idea with all these Roaches is you're not going to sit there and slowly chip away with 8 like an early push. No, you're going to like one volley down these bunkers.
Yeah, he'll bust through the bunker and then try to get towards anything he can.
Well, Siege Tank's going to help quite a bit, as long as this is a good spot. Sometimes you see Terran players position this way too close to the bunkers. The Roach is actually just getting range real fast, but not a bad spot for this.
Yeah, like this is... You said it best. Like, he's making all the right moves, just he's a little bit behind, and the Roaches can't break through so easily. And that's good. That's good for Thorzain. He doesn't just die straight off these 2 bases, and still has a fighting chance potentially.
The Banshees tried to get a bit of damage done across the map while this was going on, but the Queens did push them back. They could come home and deal with this, but that command center floats over to the 3rd and just nopes. Not even going to try and land.
So what Miniraser is going to hope to do now, he realized that Thorzain is playing well in terms of the decisions he's making, and he can't just outright win it on 2 bases. But eventually, as a Terran player, you have to take a 3rd, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to play off of 2 bases.
That's when he's going to get caught. That's when he'll get caught. As soon as he tries to go down to secure that 3rd, is when Miniraser will go in. And it looks like it may even line up with these 2-2 upgrades as well. And that kind of attack, that's going to be hard unless there's a lot of bunkers down.
The other thing, too, is like, Roach Hydra, there's not really a direct counter to this other than just having more units than the Roaches and Hydras. Tanks we've seen get absolutely demolished by just sheer brute force. Medevac counts in the late game can sometimes come into play, but I kind of feel like what Thorzain has, out in the open, will lose 10 times out of 10. If he can find a good defensive spot and maybe bait them back, I mean, he's got an army that can fight, but it's going to take the perfect engagement to hold off Roaches and Hydras.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to be pushing. That's the last thing you want to be doing against this style, because then you just meet the army in the middle of the map and you just get walked over. And I'm not sure he's identified exactly the style that Miniraser is playing, and he's actually walking into his hands right now. He's got to be defensive at this point.
I can understand the need to feel the pressure, like the pressure to have to do some damage. It makes sense because Thor, he's been on the back burner for so long in this game, but Combat shields completes. He's got a decent marine force. If he can somehow use terrain to his advantage, maybe he takes a fight. But this isn't like Lynx coming in. All these units have range.
Yeah, and that scan, I would be scared as anything right now.
Well, he's going to take the fight. He could transform these into Hellbats, maybe get a little bit more durability out of them, but of course Hellions have that nice bonus damage versus the Hydras, a little bit more range than Hellbats too, but I just feel like the buffer's not here. Coming in from 2 angles is exactly what Miniraser needs to do. Gets on top of this army so quickly. Tanks showing away in the back. Can they do enough damage? Picks up, does Thorzain. He's going to try and boost away from this, but those tanks are abandoned and this army gets demolished.
And those tanks were really important in making the defense possible, whether it be on his third or natural, and now they're gone, so unfortunately he just walked into Miniraser's hands again.
Back rocks. There's no defense at home. The submarines, the Marauders, the tanks to the siege, but the SCVs, they're going to need to be pulled. He doesn't stand a chance if he doesn't pull the SCVs, and he doesn't pull the SCVs. Apollo, this is not looking good.
It's not looking good at all.
And the SCVs get involved perhaps a little too late, but the Roaches go down, and the Hydras, you know, they don't have a lot of health. But the army's just not big enough. A counterattack goes off, but even if he kills this third base, it's not going to cut it.
The reinforcements, the 16 Roaches, will deal with that counter while he just destroys everything else. And look at the supplies, they just tell the story.
Yeah, this is a little bit sad to see out of Thorzain, guys, because I know he's a bit of a fan favorite coming into this, but this is really impressive out of Miniraser, too. You know, he dealt with the 888 like nothing at all. Oh my god, transfusing the hatchery almost saves it, but, you know, he's going to take a 2-0 and walk forward in the groups. He's well played.
Yeah, well played for Miniraser, and he's getting closer and closer to where he's been before. Challenger.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him back in there. I'd like to see him do some action this season. So my question to you, I guess, is like, how long do you want to be on the cast for? You got no obligation, of course.
Series with you.
Pardon me?
I can do another series with you.
Cool. Do you have any particular favorites looking at these brackets?
No, not at all. No preferences at all. It doesn't matter.